Good day, everyone. My name is Yomi Babalola. It's my pleasure to be here under the auspices of Leadership Development Center. I am honored to want to share with you today what I have tagged money management in the year 2021. The year 2020 has been a very dynamic year in its own way. It's a year that the entire world was brought to our knees. The universe bowed to the ravaging COVID-19 pandemic. The entire economic landscape and postulations were disrupted as nations slide into recession. Nigerian businesses are facing difficult times over weakened purchasing power of the consumer, high foreign exchange rate, and inflation. Under these economic uncertainties, it has become increasingly difficult to find an investment vehicle that negates the harsh economic hardship that we have found ourselves and that negate harsh effect of inflation on savings and purchasing power. Today, this presentation reviews a few economic indices of Nigeria for the year 2020 and recommend ways to manage our finances and investments in the coming year 2021. So I welcome you to this discourse and I welcome you to this presentation. We're going to be looking at a few things that are very germane, and I want you to follow me with your heart, because I believe that 2021 is a year that we will need to recover from where we have found ourselves in the year 2020. 2020, yes, of course, has been a very tough and difficult year for quite a number of people. But then we are hopeful that 2021 will come good and every one of us will be better for it. So we're talking about money management. Money management. Anytime we have to discuss the issue of money, I know a whole lot of people are interested because all that we do circle around money. Apart from the fact that we serve God, apart from the fact that we have a family, but there is a major thing that binds every one of us together. There's a major thing that brings all of us together. There is a major reason why every one of us, when we wake up in the morning, we step out of our houses, we go to our places of work because we want to do what? We want to earn money. And so we're going to be talking about money management for the year 2021. So what is money management? Money management refers to the process of budgeting, investing, saving, spending with one's finances. In other words, it also means how you handle all aspects of your finances, from making a budget for where each paycheck goes to settling long-term goals or picking investment that will help you reach those goals. Money management. Let's look at a few economic indices as it affects us in the nation. It is no longer news. Nigeria is in recession. This is the second recession in the last 5 years. And it is sad that we have found ourselves in this particular situation right now. Let's look at a few things. Indices, like I said earlier. Nigeria's gross domestic product, the GDP, in real terms declined by negative 3.62% year on year in quarter three of 2020, making a full-blown recession and a second consecutive contraction from negative 6.10% recorded in the previous quarter, that is quarter 2 of 2020. So the economy is in second recession in 5 years. I had said that earlier. Our GDP for 2 consecutive quarters, quarter 2 and quarter 3, have contracted, and therefore we found ourselves in another tight corner. We found ourselves as a nation in another recession in 5 years. Sad, but it is the reality of the time that we are in. But I'm positive that we will come out of it and we will be better. Let's look at inflation. This should interest you. Remember, at a particular point in time, the figure was dropping and we were excited that inflation is dropping and we were hopeful that it would become a single digit. However, our hopes were a little bit dashed. As I speak to you right now, Nigeria inflation rate has risen to 14.23% year on year in October 2020, as against the 13.71% recorded in September 2020. Now, this is where the interest is. The Composite Food Index, a closely watched component, rose by 17.38% in October 2020 as compared to 16.66% recorded in September. A whole lot of us at this point in time, this is what matters to us. If you go to the market now, you will realize that there is practically nothing that you can buy that has not changed in terms of price. Every market that you go to, the price of every commodity has risen by a certain number of percentage. So it has further made a mockery of what you and I as individual earn. Sad if you are a fixed income earner. Sad. Like I said, if you are a fixed income earner. Sad because your income is not increasing, yet everything that you use that income to buy is increasing in value. So your purchasing power every day is reduced. It's reduced. It's reduced. If you have a family of 6 people, you know what you'll be spending on a daily basis to feed a family of 6. If on the average, your children take food of 300 naira per meal. So for every child is 900 naira per meal. Breakfast, lunch, and supper. So if you have 4 children, 9 times 4, that's 3,600. So while you have to calculate that of your wife and yourself, 6 mouths to feed, you will realize how badly it is affecting your income. Value of naira has completely been eroded by inflation. So the economic power of naira has gone below what an average person can smile about. Inflation is terrible, practically affecting every household. And like I said earlier, it is sad if you are a fixed income earner. Now let's look at interest rates. Nigeria's treasury bill at the last auction traded at an incredibly low figure of 0.35 to 0.5% per annum. Wow. At a point in our lifetime, the rate on treasury bill was high as 16%, as high as 15%, as high as 14%. Those periods were periods of boom, where everybody would take their investment from fixed deposits and look to book treasury bill with their funds. Because at that point in time, the rates of treasury bill was hedging inflation. At that point, inflation was not as high as 14% that we presently have, 14.23%. So it is easier for every investor to go book their investment in treasury bill. But what do we have? It's a very sad commentary today. Treasury bill rate is 0.35% to 0.5% year on year per annum. More worrisome is the fact that the bills were oversubscribed. This means investors are willing to earn almost nothing on their investment rather than take the risk on an economy that is full of uncertainty. What do I mean by this? Even as low as the rate is, you are practically earning nothing from buying a T-bill. People oversubscribed for T-bill because the economy is so completely uncertain such that investors are not ready to risk putting their fund in the economy because you're not sure whether your money is going to come out. As bad as it is, that is where we have found ourselves. The average rate on savings is 1.25. That is yield on 1 year, on 4 years, and on 10 years of federal government bond are 0.14%, 0.14%, 1.98%, and 4.38% respectively. That's on 1 year, on 4 years, and on 10 years. Incredibly low. if the interest rate is so low, so who goes into investment at this point in time? However, there is a little bit ray of hope in the stock market. Stock market seems to be gaining traction and seems to be more stable. So year-to-date return on Nigerian stock market is 27.03%. That is good news. Investors seem to be more carefully moving funds into capital markets for better returns. With the economy now officially in recession, stock investors will likely trade more carefully. So that is another caution. With the economy in recession right now, for those who are into stock, they will trade more carefully. So where do we go from here? As a nation, as individual. Remember, we're talking about money management. Remember, we're talking about money management. This is just the beginning. We're just beginning to open up ourselves gradually to what we're talking about, money management. But then we need to have all of these figures at the back of our mind before we will understand the true concept of what we're talking about, money management. So where do we go from here? Nigeria is in recession. Second time in 5 years. The rates are very low if you are an investor. Inflation is very high. Eroding value of Naira is having a very terrible effect on family income. Families are struggling. Individuals are seeing how hard that they have put into their work, yet with little resources because it is fixed. And all the variables have increased in terms of value. Where do we go from here? Do we go over there? Do we go far away? Do we go somewhere else? Oh, we don't even have an idea, or we are not sure. We don't even know. We are uncertain. Do we just stay where we are? Where do we go from here? 2020 is coming to an end gradually, and apparently we're already in the month of December. So where do we go from here? Here comes 2021. What are your plans? What are your goals? Folks, I want to tell you this. 2021, your finances, your financial planning for the year 2021, it's in your hand. What becomes of our finances in the year 2021, it's in your hand. What you do, how you thrive financially in the year 2021, it's in your hand. It's in your hand. It's in your hand. And it's very important that you watch carefully what you do in 2021. 2021, I bet you have to be deliberate and intentional about your finances. It's not going to be business as usual. 2021 is not going to be a year of frivolities. It's a year of strategic planning. It's a year that you have to sit down and take the solid decision that you need to take to move ahead financially. 2021, it's in your hand. Money management. Don't forget, we're talking about money management. Steps to money management. Number one, you have a budget. You have a budget. Many people don't have a budget. They do not want to go through the process of listing out expenses and tracking same. Folks, no matter how little you earn, and no matter how much you earn, I want to beseech you. These are solid things that we're passing across to you for 2021. If you will thrive, if you will do well, if you will rightly appraise yourself, 2021 financially, you begin with a budget. We all find it very difficult, but it is very important. Draw a budget. List out every expense. List out the things that you want to accomplish. Have a monthly budget for your household. Have a monthly budget for yourself, if need be. It is imperative that we begin. It is no more the year where you earn and then you just begin to spend on impulse. It is a year, like I said to you, that you need to dynamically strategize and see where you are going to in 2021. If you would thrive in 2021, you will need to be deliberate about a lot of things, and you will need to be disciplined. When it comes to the issue of finance, it is like the life of a military man who goes through the same regimen every day. Is a regimented life. They have a particular time they wake up and they go to the field. They jog, they train. It's like the life of a footballer who equally cannot miss training because he has to keep fit. So for you to be fit financially in 2021, you have to be extremely disciplined. You have to take deliberate decision about your finances in 2021. So it begins with drawing a budget. Now, it is not enough to draw the budget. It is not enough to draw the budget. You must use the budget. You must use the budget. You must discipline yourself to use the budget. What is the essence of drawing the budget? Well, you know that for drawing up sick, let me just draw the budget. And I know it's just more like a New Year resolution that every one of us make at the beginning of every New Year, January. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And along the line, by March, nothing is done. We are motivated in the first instance to start up something, and along the line that motivation wanes and you drop, and we are not following through anymore. But then 2021, you need to be committed. I've said deliberateness, I said discipline, and I've said commitment. You will need to be committed, because it is not enough for you to draw the budget. You have to use the budget, and in using the budget, you have to be committed to using the budget. You have to discipline yourself to knowing fully well that this budget, I want to follow through it, and then it is commitment that drives you to following those plans that you have drawn for yourself financially for the year 2021. So, budget, draw it. 2, use the budget. Follow through what you have done for yourself. It is with your hand that you have drawn that budget. And also, it is important that you subject your budget to scrutiny. Scrutinize your budget. Just don't assume that I have done the budget. If need be, look for an expert who perhaps will do it pro bono for you, and look at some of the things that you have drawn financially as a budget and see how you follow through those budgets. If it is realistic, you will be told. If it is not realistic, you will be told. So it is important that we do this. Number 3, give yourself a limit on unbudgeted spending. Give yourself a limit on unbudgeted spending. Net income or amount of money left after taking out your expenses is your unbudgeted spending. This is important, and I want to draw our ears here. You feel you have drawn your budget. You have allotted a certain amount to every line of your budget, and then you have something left, and you feel, oh, this particular money is what I haven't drawn my budget, so I am free to spend this money. Folk, if you don't give yourself a limit on this amount, you will realize that you will waste that resource that you have that is supposed to be an advantage to you. You will use it on things that you don't need. So give yourself a limit. While you use your budgets, you must be careful with something. You must watch something which is very important: your expenses. Your expenses. Try as much as possible to cut your expense, and as you cut your expense, try as much as possible to save more. Try as much as possible to save more. So like I said, the unbudgeted spending, the unbudgeted amount that is left, give yourself a limit on it. You will do yourself a whole lot of good. Number 4, track your spending. Track your spending. Track your spending. Let me say that again. Track your spending. Now, a whole lot of us, you go to the market, or you enter into a mall, or you enter into a supermarket, and you see something, you buy it. You buy this, you buy that, and then you keep no record of those things that you buy. Small purchases here and there add up quickly, and before you know it, you have overspent. You must cultivate in the year 2021. If you want to manage your finances well, you must do this, and it is very important, and it requires a lot of discipline. It's a thing that I do. It's a thing that I do, and once it becomes an habit for you, honestly, you do not find it difficult to do anymore. So track your expenses, track your spending. Little spending here and there, little purchase here, little purchase there. You see this, oh, it's 5 naira. You see this, it is 10 naira. That one is 5,000. This one is 2,000. Little expenses here and there, they add up a lot. Before you know it, everything that you are budgeted for, you have overspent on it. So track your spending. Track to know that you are within limit or you are overspending. So tracking your expense helps you to do that. It helps you to know whether you are within limit or you are overspending. So every day when you go out, every day that you spend money, you come back perhaps in the evening to review the things that you have spent money on. And so you are able to write down, I bought this pair of shoe, I bought this pair of trousers, I bought this, I bought that. So once you have those records, you are tracking them against your budget to see, oh, what I have budgeted for this month on this item. Have I overspent? Am I within limits? That it will help you. Now, second, or B, save your receipts and record your purchases. 2021. A whole lot of us are guilty of this. I don't trash my receipts until at the end of the month. It's a culture that I have, is a habit that I have cultivated. Everywhere I go to make purchases, I demand that the receipt is given to me, except perhaps when we have to buy plantain, and that also is recorded. So every mall that I visit, every supermarket that I visit, once I make any purchase and a receipt is issued to me, I save that receipt and I record the purchases. It is difficult. What sort of a man is this one? But then I am just giving you tips on how you can manage your money in the year 2021 to know how that you are doing financially and how you should be financially independent. Save your receipts and record your purchases. Look at those receipts very well. There are some things that attract you when you go out. There are some things that you naturally do not want to buy. You know, over here we have a culture of spending. We love to spend money. We love to buy things. Oh, you know, most of the malls that we see, once you go out, there are a lot of things that are very alluring, and their prices are very, very, very insignificant. And you just see it. Shebi is 5 naira. Shebi is just 1,000 naira. I can have it, but do you really need it? The moment that you buy it, perhaps you use it for just one day, or perhaps you use it maximum 1 week, and you realize that you are no longer in need of it. Do you know what you've done? You have wasted 1,000 naira. So when you save your receipts and you record them and you carefully look at the receipt, why did I buy this? Did I really need it? It will help your decision tomorrow whether you should go ahead and make some purchases that you really don't need for the moment. For now, we're going to stop on this. We have just given ourselves steps to money management. We have done 4. Remember, have a budget. 2, use the budget. 3, give yourself a limit on budgeted spending. And number 4, track your savings. Thank you very much. We'll continue in the subsequent edition.